Hello and welcome back to the Formula 1 chat. Today we're going to be talking about the Formula 1 2023 calendar. It's an interesting one, isn't it? We're about a week late to this. Everyone else made their videos on it last time. Exactly. But yeah, 24 races.
Wow.
Initially, what are your thoughts? Because I think right. More words. I look at people's complaints. So I know 24 seems like a lot. So we'll talk about the pros and we'll talk about the cons as to the whole thing. So, cons, immediately, what are you thinking, Harry?
I mean, I've seen the travel miles that we're going to rack up this year.
Yeah.
Outrageous. Like, for example, Las Vegas to Abu Dhabi is an absolute trek.
Well, that's the biggest journey, though, isn't it? Las Vegas to Abu Dhabi, though that is like other opposite ends of the world.
Exactly. I don't really think about that one.
And of course, there is only a week between those.
Because obviously, I mean, that's the thing. I guess they want to. They have to do America towards the end of the year, don't they? They have to do it in South America and that. But they still want to end in Abu Dhabi, so that's the only way they've managed to do it.
24 races, Abu Dhabi still want to end in Abu Dhabi.
52 weekends in a year.
It's 24 weekends.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting.
We start in what, spring?
We start in March, end
in
November.
You lose about 10 weekends there. Between January and March, probably.
Yeah.
So that's 24 races, about 42 weekends. It's not many off.
I look at it from a fan's perspective, I'm very excited. 24 races, I love Formula 1, I want to see as many races as possible, right? And I don't really get the argument of, it's too many, it's taking up too much of my time. If you love Formula 1, you're going to watch.
And the big thing I will say is this has a massive impact on the feeder series, because it gives them more opportunities to race, more races to race at.
I would disagree.
Why?
I think it has, in fact, the inverse effect, because the young drivers that are competing in those series cannot afford to go to this many races. So I would argue there shouldn't be more feeder series races.
Well,
they can't afford to go. So what we're going to end up with is actually a worse grid, because it'll only be paid drivers. I mean, you look at Cimbolo Bassi this year, for example, couldn't afford to do the rest of the campaign. We see Tatiana Calderon back, who's a driver who's clearly not good enough. We'll see more and more drivers have to drop out because they can't afford it. I saw William Alatolo talking about it on Twitter, how he just cannot understand how there's so many races because he can't afford to go to. I think for the drivers, Formula 1 drivers, this is fine.
You're telling me that the only pro to this calendar is that there's more races for the fans. Is it really worth it?
Yeah, I mean, I look at it like that, but I've seen people compare it to football and go, well, there's 38 football games a year. There's there's more different. And then there's more competitions and stuff.
Little bit different.
Yeah. Well,
first of all, it's not global. It's in the same country.
It's domestic based. I know they've got the Champions League.
You've just got to get 11 players and some kits to a ground. You haven't got to get 2 whole racing cars.
It's a lot to take, isn't it?
A lot of equipment.
And of course, football games are only 90 minutes. They're not 3 days.
Exactly. Oh yeah, that's very true.
Different things going on. So.
And you don't have 5 football. You have 3 different football games on at the same ground in one day.
No, and
like
of course
we've got F2 and F3.
Yeah, of course the carbon footprint of football is a lot lower because you're not taking cars anywhere. No. Obviously they're going to drive and get buses to the ground, but
going from Manchester to London is a bit different from going to Vegas to Abu Dhabi. Just a tad different there.
Yeah. So, and of course the engineers, it's harsh on them.
Yeah.
As a lot of people have spoken about already, so there's not really much more we can add to that. It is just that, yeah. But I will say, the argument that it's their job, they chose to do it, they should just deal with it, is completely stupid.
Because they'd have chose that job when there was, say, 18 races.
Exactly.
They didn't see. Should we actually talk about the tracks on the
I was going to say, calendar? Let's look at it then.
So are they actually worth it?
So, we start with Bahrain.
I like it.
It's a good season opener.
If you look at the last 2 season openers, they've been very good.
Yeah, and I think Bahrain is not a difficult circuit.
It's a friendly
by
rookies,
F1
it's a nice
standards.
little warm into.
Exactly, and it's a good way to start the season. You get to see the cars. There's a good mix of low high and medium speed
Bit of
corners.
rustiness to shake off for all the drivers.
Yeah.
They're not being chucked straight into the most difficult circuit.
Exactly. And then we go to Saudi Arabia 2 weeks after that,
That is a difficult circuit.
where it's just a roller coaster. Hold on and hope to get to the end.
I look at the last two races at Saudi Arabia, we've had some phenomenal ones.
It is a very dangerous track, but we
For more
shouldn't.
than one reason.
We shouldn't be removing it because it's a dangerous track. Like there's no big incident. Yeah, Mick had a big
That
shunt,
was an experience.
but we know people can survive big shunts.
Exactly.
And yeah, it is scary to see him go off, but equally,
I don't
there's
think
one.
it's the track. Let's be honest, Mick Schumacher had about a big shunt at every
Exactly.
other race.
Yeah. It was just the way that he caught the track. I imagine that wall isn't concrete anymore as well. For when we return in March, you'd like to think. I think that's the biggest
I
issue.
forgot about that one. I was thinking of the other one he had the year before. That's what I'm saying though. Every time, man.
But yeah, there's 2 weeks in between there. That's fine, and then another 2 weeks from Saudi to Australia.
I like Australia, the new little developments to the track.
Slightly, we will have one Australian on the grid this year.
I think
only one.
I think it'll be in a much better race. Obviously, if Verstappen's engine hadn't blown up.
Yeah. Then we've got another 2 weeks until we go to China. China returns to the grid.
China. It's always been a decent race. Been interesting how it does this. Obviously,
Yeah, and I think it fits nicely with Australia, China, Azerbaijan up next, and 2 weeks between.
Obviously, Baku's now
China and Azerbaijan as well.
Great race. And obviously, again, I think the entertainment factor would have been much greater if both Ferraris hadn't gone poof.
Yep, and then we have Miami, another week's break,
great race.
another 2 weeks off between. So Azerbaijan and Miami are back to back. That's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Then 2 weeks off before the Imola, Monaco, Spain triple header. The first of 3 triple headers, I think.
Imola, fantastic. Monaco, it's got history and heritage. Spain's got nothing.
Should we? Yeah, I was gonna say Barcelona not great. Wouldn't really
They want to
want to
bring
go
back
there.
the Madrid track, don't they? Can't remember what it's called now.
Well, just do a Madrid street circuit.
There's a track in Madrid that they want.
There's one in Valencia.
Spain want to move.
There's not one in
Spain want to
Madrid,
move back
is
to
there?
the capital.
Yeah, but I think they'd do a street circuit,
Yeah,
wouldn't they?
probably.
Which, if you saw our F1 calendar, that was my one of my suggestions in that. Then we have Canada 2 weeks after that, and then another 2 weeks until Austria. 2 good rounds there.
Yeah.
Austria goes back with Britain.
Britain's always a phenomenal race.
Yep, Silverstone, brilliant track. Then 2 weeks off, Hungary, and then Belgium double header,
Belgium.
and into the winter break. So Belgium brought forwards this year to the 30th of July, rather than usually occupying the first weekend back.
Oh no, less chance of rain because they've moved forward.
Well, they've changed its time of the year, yeah.
So it might not rain. It might not rain. It might not rain.
Then we have Netherlands
Love.
as the first one back from the winter break. That double headers up with Monza, and then we have
Monza's
2
good.
weeks off before the Singapore-Japan double
Love
header.
Singapore, Japan, great tracks.
Another 2 weeks off before we go to Qatar. Now, Losail was a poor circuit when we went before. It is currently still that track. So they've not built the Doha street circuit like they promised to, and Qatar is signed till 2030. And we are going to a motorbike track. Yay! Because that was great last time.
New tyres do around there, won't it? I mean, obviously you saw the punch-up problems we had, for like the Bottas and that around Qatar, because it's a
Good point.
motorbike track, motorbike racing track. None of that says Formula 1 to me.
What if we just only put 2 tyres on and see what happens?
Or what if we went to all the motorbike tracks? Like you turned Austria into the motorbike track, where they cut out the big straight and they put a massive chicane in the middle of it.
And then we go to a triple header of USA, Mexico, Brazil.
Christ, I really want to punish these tyres.
That's gonna be a tough one.
Mexico, Brazil.
I was gonna say.
And then Qatar to US.
And then round 23, Las Vegas.
I know it's just going to be rubbish.
It is. The track looks horrific, and I know we thought that about Azerbaijan.
Track looks
but
rubbish.
There's nothing at Las Vegas.
No one's going to watch it because it's cost your whole house, life.
Have you seen
and
how
you've got
much
to sell your
how much
kidney.
the packages are?
Yeah, a lot.
So the big hotel in Las Vegas, I can't think what its name is now, but everyone knows the big hotel in Vegas, are apparently going to buy 20 to 25 million pounds worth of the tickets and then sell them as packages with hotels at 100 grand.
Let me just go sell
for the
all my
3
10
days.
Lorgans.
I was going to say, that is a house. That is a house.
Believe it.
How is it so expensive? F1 ticket prices are ridiculous now. But Yeah, and of course Las Vegas will be the first ever Thursday, Friday, Saturday event. The race will take place on Saturday night for us in Europe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it is also Saturday in Vegas. So
Bit disappointing.
it's interesting. It's something, isn't it?
I think...
The track looks shit.
It better be that's what I'm saying. It better be a bloody good race to make it worth it watching on a Saturday night.
Qualifying, luckily, it's not going to obviously feature during the day. If not, loads of people would miss it. But luckily, because it is so late at night, we will probably be fine to be able to watch that.
Great, because I want to stay up until the early hours in the morning watching cars go around a square.
It pretty much is, isn't it? And then we have a week until the finale at Abu Dhabi, which is a good track.
Oh,
Now
yeah,
we've changed the layout a bit. It's a good track. So what we've lost is nothing. No, sorry, France. We've lost France, which has produced a good racing for
I'd
years.
rather France and Spain.
So we've lost France and we've gained. Well, we've gained China. We've gained China, Qatar, Las Vegas.
I want to go to Qatar.
Overall, I think we've got a better calendar in terms of China coming back instead of France. The other two editions are pointless though. Still no race in Africa is a big, big shame.
Go to Kyle Army. Swap out Vegas and Qatar. So basically, if money wasn't a thing, then they'd take out Las Vegas and Qatar and put in Kyle Army in France.
I don't think we need to go to the US 3 times.
That's just taking.
If we went to England 3 times, people would kick off. I guess I know US is bigger.
I'm not going to Snettington, are
I know US is the same size as Europe, so it's pretty much like doing 3 European races, and we do have a lot of European races. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a great one.
It's just getting boring. Unless Shaq's going to rock out on his Shaqmobile again, then it's going to be dull.
We've got Coda coming up. I'm very excited to see that return. But Vegas is going to be very.
Let me get my police escort.
Like remember Miami. It's going to be that
you have the
times
sheriffs
times
on
10.
their horses.
They're going to have to gamble away their trophy for a bigger one or a smaller one. You never know what you're going to get.
Because if he wins the drive, if whoever's won the Drivers' World Championship by then, just puts the whole trophy on black.
Collie's decided on roulette spin. They just stick all their little faces on there. Spin the ball. No, it's a little Pirelli tyre.
Yeah.
Spin that around, see who's going to start where.
Well,
Could be
Max,
exciting,
you're
to
doing
be
your
fair.
Q3
Maybe-
lap on the hards.
If the championship's already decided, could we please do that of Las
Yeah,
Vegas?
we'll just gamble it all away.
Yeah. See who starts where. You never know, might get an Oscar Piastri pole position.
I think he might get one anyway.
Interesting. Oh, predictions. McLaren are going to stink up their
rapid.
game. Oh, you reckon? Oh.
Rapid.
Right,
Well, we'll save that for our pre-season thoughts.
Going to come in February, so look out for that one, guys.
5 months to go.
Yeah, well, obviously still 6 rounds of this season, but 2023 is going to be a good one. I think most people are just already acting like this season's done.
23.
Max can wrap up the championship next time out. But realistically, no one's catching Red Bull at the top of constructors either, so they're both over now.
This season is kind of done and dusted now.
They're fighting for various different positions. Yes, there's still some battles.
Could Max Verstappen not finish any of the races and win Abu Dhabi and win the championship?
Well, yeah.
That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. He could basically not bother turning up for the rest of the races.
He has to outscore Charles by 19, I think, to win the championship in the last 6.
It's a joke.
But obviously he wants to win every race.
Oh, well, yeah, he's not going to
Because
go.
he's-
I don't fancy this one. Go on, Checo.
Well, he's 2 away from
But
levelling Vettel and
I
Schumacher's
hope he
win
gives
rate.
Checo the win in Mexico. I
No.
want Checo to win in Mexico.
Let's hope for next year when Max isn't chasing the 9 consecutive victories.
I want Checo to win in Mexico.
I'd rather see Max take 9 wins
No,
in a row.
I wouldn't.
And then
I want to
10
see
and then-
Papa Perez's face when Checo
I don't want
crosses
Checo
the
to
line.
win. I want Papa Perez to win in Mexico.
Right, so Checo takes it to the final corner. Papa
Then he
Perez
comes
runs in,
running
sits in.
He gets over the
No
line.
seatbelt, no helmet, just floors it.
Spins it, loses to like Charles or something. But yeah,
Charles wins the championship.
yeah, that is all. It's an okay calendar. Yeah, there's improvements we would make. If you want to see those, check out the video linked on screen now, which is where we detailed our F1 calendar a few months back now.
Yes.
Like ages ago, actually.
Yeah,
But yeah,
alright then.
that is all for today. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.